My name is Do Not Obey, and let's get started. Let's get it.
Hey my friends, the bomb-ravaged remains of a Colossus Neptune, this guy right here. Now let's go take a closer look. Okay, this is that statue, Del Gigante. Now, if you can see the leg here, you can see clearly this is tendon. Now, there's a little cavity here, and so, oh, look at that cavity there. No, the cavity is from they call the areolar tissue that's underneath. I've shown in my other videos about how the body is actually constructed. This is the red, bloody muscle layer here, layer in here. And now we're going to look at his face and we're going to look at his arm. See if we can find any anatomy. I mean, you don't have to be any special medical person to see that. I mean, it's just so obvious. And your tendons are a white, strappy, fibrous, strong, but still flexible. And that's what it was. And then, of course, you have your red muscle that does the pulling and causes everything to move around. And it's what it is. We have to start paying attention to this. And this was all written about, that this was not an unusual event. I know, it sounds insane, but wait till you hear this. Okay, you saw his leg, and obviously, and I'll show you the legs, or I have shown you one or the other. This, you see that right there? Feel under your own arm, and you're going to feel the bone is right there in reference to where your shoulder comes up. That's the bone. And this is the muscles that surround the bone of it's the shoulder muscles. Now, they point, oh, look at this, it was all built with iron. Well, this is obviously iron, and it is obviously a patch. You see the different color? You see it's all different here, different here, different here. That is a patch. These are patches. Now, I've always said when you see this red color, you know that you got blood. Well, iron is blood. That's where it's come from. Now, if they used it in a statue, yes, it might bleed through. And I did see Praveen Mohan. No, 16th century Florence. 16th century Colossus sculptured in Florence. It wasn't sculptured in Florence unless they did it in the 1600s, 16th century, 1500s. And that is an absolutely living creature at one time. And it is strangling something that looks like a little dragon or something. Now, we're going to look at some pictures of this. This is not something that can be disputed. And you could go take DNA from these things. That's a fact. You can get DNA out of that. They know this now. So don't tell me that I'm wrong without doing any of that work. Because I'm telling you right now, this is virtually certain. If you don't look at it, just ignore it. That's all. All right, I understand colors. I understand textures. I understand tendons. And that's tendon running up from his shoulder. And that is the muscle, same looking muscle that was running around that guy's leg. Now, whether they somehow petrified the flesh and the inside stuff, I guess got sort of petrified too, but you could see underneath here. This is kaolin clays. This is, they patched it here and there. And then the guy excavated inside of this guy's body and made little rooms in there to make it look like he did something. Then he put a dragon's nest on his back. And that's what they call doing the job. Now, this right here is falling apart. This guy's arm is falling apart. And that's tendinous material. And that's just strangling some kind of a little dragon-looking thing. And all of this blood stuff that's running out of here, that's very, very biological. Can be tested. All right, here's from the back, looking at the colossus. And this is the flesh that coats the outside of everything. They somehow had a way to stabilize that, and it must have been instantaneously. And that's what Ebert said. They could just go click and it was done. Well, let me show you what. Medusa had the keys to this whole thing. Now, there was a head, the Medusa head, after it was severed, it still did the job. Now, at some point, they were able to make these giants, and there was giants everywhere, and they could stabilize them in midstream. All right, here we go. Here's Perseus right here. See, Perseus, book 4, book 5, Perseus fighting the palace of Cephas. Let's go look into that. Now, let's just look at what Perseus is about first. Perseus was, in Greek mythology, he was a legendary founder of Mycenae and the Perseid dynasty. He was alongside Cadmus and Bellerophon, the greatest Greek hero and slayer of monsters before the days of Heracles. He beheaded the Gorgon Medusa, and then he went around with that head. He did some work. Hold on, here we go. Okay, this is book 5, and it's fabulous. Let's just go down to where it's quick and easy. 200 to 249. Phineas is turned to stone. They all deserved the punishment they suffered, except one of Perseus' warriors. While he was fighting on his side, Acontius saw the Gorgon's head, which is the petrifier, and took the shape of hardened stone. Boom, instantly. Astyages struck him with his long sword right in the middle of the battle, thinking he was still alive, and a blade gave him a high-pitched ringing noise. While Astyages stood there amazed, the same power transformed him. He saw the Gorgon's head, and he remained there with a wondering look on his marble face. It would take a long time to tell the names of the middle ranks of men. 200 bodies survived the fight, and 200 bodies were turned to stone at the sight of the Gorgon's head. The Medusa head, the only way that I can justify this, and the only way that I can have this make any sense whatsoever, because I understand the chemistry, I understand the biology, I understand the anatomy, I understand the different molecules, the atoms, how they bond, I understand the nucleophilic reaction, how it comes in and transforms things and replaces things and stabilizes bodily tissues, and how that all happens, and the pHs, I know that whole stuff inside and out. However, there is nothing, absolutely no way whatsoever that molecules can stabilize like that. It's just impossible in the realm I live in. These were gods. They could do that. Some of these gods had the ability to talk to molecules. Absolutely no question. They came down, they would shapeshift. They could create, they could make things just happen by directing the molecules to do what they want them to do, somehow with thought or something. I mean, I believe it was Athena popped right out of Zeus's forehead with all her armament. Just popped out of his forehead. How does that happen? That's not your normal birth. All right, it's just bizarre. It's crazy as hell, absolutely, but Greek goddess of wisdom and war. Athena, apparently he ate Athena, put her in his belly or something, and then she is known most specifically for her strategic skill in warfare and is often portrayed as the companion of heroes and as the patron goddess of heroic endeavors. Good things. Athena was born from Zeus after he experienced an enormous headache. And she sprang fully grown and in armor from his forehead. I mean, that doesn't happen a lot. These kind of things are so over the top that they've been relegated to just hysterical laughter. I mean, I laugh when I can't help myself, but it's, if you stop and think about it and you see what's really, really there, and I do, and I see a lot of stuff, and it's I gotta tell you, it's scary, and I'm getting kind of scared of what it all means, because I'm telling you, it all means something, and we have been so lost in video games and all that nonsense that we just have not paid attention to this and laughed at all the people that have, and that's changing right away. It's changing, and you better start paying attention. I don't know what the end's going to be. I have no clue whatsoever, but I am watching, and I got an eye on who I'm going to be looking for when I draw my last breath. I can tell you now.